2017, Retirement Board meeting minutes of April 24th, June 26th, and June 10th. Zoning Board Appeals meeting minutes of June 27th. Payment application number 3 for the 2017 water main replacement project M649 to Aoli Construction Company for the amount of $102,697.87. And finally, licenses new and renewals submitted for August 7th, 2017. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Supported. Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Next, we have Helene Zach, our Oakland County Commissioner, here to give us an update on county news. Thank you for coming.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, the good news is that we did approve additional community development block grant funding from Oakland County this year, and it's a one-time deal. Part of the money that we get from the federal government, we will program for home improvement loans, and it's a revolving fund, and we determined at Oakland County that we don't need additional money in the home loan improvement fund. And so we are taking almost $1 million and reprogramming that money back to the communities based on the formula. So Oak Park will see more CDBG money, and this is some of the money. I don't have an exact figure. I think it's somewhere around $25,000, $30,000. And this is some funding that we put toward chore services, code enforcement, really hands-on things for our community residents. So
Great
you can
news.
thank me for the gift for the year. But the challenging piece is we don't know what's going to happen federally and whether this funding will continue coming to us. Oakland County still working on its DNA lab. It's coming, and this is a big deal for Oakland County to have its own DNA lab. Previously or currently, we have to send DNA testing results to the state, and it can take 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. And so as Oakland County taxpayers, we are investing in having our own lab, and we're just waiting for the federal government. We're licensed, we're accredited. We can't enter our numbers into the federal crime lab system yet. And as soon as we can do that, we'll be totally live. And it's going to be really going to help expedite all of our different legal work in our county. We also approved funding for additional training dollars. There's this for the Sheriff's Department. It's also going to be open to other public safety departments, but it's a VirTrek, which is a virtual reality shooting training module. And it's the state of the art. You can go in the room and see live body what's going on around you and practice shooting at the bad guys. And so the Sheriff's Department is, going to start this and open it up to our local communities as well. There's a new thing going on in the Health Department where they are mapping opioid crisis cases so we can see where there's different opioid problems in the county and throughout the state of Michigan, and hopefully that will help us in prevention and other policy to at least see it. Finally, we are getting close to opening up our new Oakland County Animal Control Animal Care Center. This is a big deal because Oakland County hasn't built a new building in I don't know how long. And this is going to be the state-of-the-art shelter for animals. It's going to have open cages for cats. I have the opportunity to take a tour in the next couple weeks to see it. And I'm told that I think it's going to open up live in September. And this is something that I know that I have advocated and worked very hard to have better animal care practices in Oakland County. That's it. Any questions for me?
Thank you as always.
Thank you.
Comprehensive report. Special recognition. We have an Employee of the Year. City Manager Eric Tungate, would you please present this?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council, and members of the public. I have the honor and distinction of announcing our Employee of the Year this year. And for those of you who don't know this, this is a program that the City of Oak Park used to have many moons ago, and just this year is returning to this program after I think about 7 or 8 years now. So not only did I select an Employee of the Year, but I have also selected an Employee of the Year runner-up. And we announced the 2 winners of the runner-up and the Employee of the Year at our employee luncheon last week, and we have a luncheon every summer. And I'd like to start with our Employee of the Year runner-up. And our Employee of the Year runner-up is Tiffany Brown. Tiffany, if you wouldn't mind standing for me, please. Now, for those of you who don't know Tiffany, she works in our Department of Public Works. And she was a recalled employee back in 2013, so she was laid off during the great layoffs of 2012, and she was brought back, thank goodness. Tiffany is not someone who's going to stomp her feet and ask for recognition. She's calm, she has a professional demeanor, and she's able to assist the Department of Public Works in virtually everything that they do in the administrative office. That includes back in 2014 when we had our flood crisis, and she worked with FEMA and assisted us in getting dollars to repair some of our facilities. And she also takes all calls from residents and businesses, organizes the Beautification Awards ceremony, and is now working on a citywide GIS-based system. She doesn't ask for credit, but she does her job quietly, professionally, and with grace. And for that, I very much appreciate it. And council members, if you would like to, and I'd ask you to stand up with me and let's recognize her with a photo. Thank you. Okay, Madam Mayor, members of council, that now brings me to the announcement of our Employee of the Year. Before I announce who the recipient of this award is, I do want to ask Director Cooper to join me at the podium. Director Cooper will add a few words. Before he does, though, I'd like to say that the recipient of this year's Employee of the Year Award is somebody who does their job very well, their day-to-day job very well, and not only that, but looks for every opportunity to add programs and put the city in the best position possible, looking at unconventional things that you normally wouldn't think of when you think of public safety departments. Director Cooper, can you add to that, please?
At this point, I'm assuming you don't want me to give the Employee of the Year away.
If you would like to, sir, it's really something that I think you should be announcing.
Okay. I don't want to get in trouble, boss. You know how that goes. Good evening to our mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council, and our city manager. I guess I'll go ahead and steal the city manager's thunder with his permission. Detective Robert Cook is the Employee of the Year for the Public Safety Department, and I had the honor of doing the nomination for Mr. Cook, and the city manager so graciously concurred and awarded him with this award. Just to give you a little background about Detective Cook, he's been employed with the Public Safety Department for 14 years. He's currently assigned to the Detective Bureau, where he has served and done an outstanding job for several years now. He's also serves as one of our department's evidence technician. He's highly decorated. He's received numerous citations throughout his career, 2 of which have been director's commendation, 1 of which I've had the honor of actually awarding. And since my tenure as director, I've only given out 2, and that's in 5 years. So Mr. Cook was the first recipient of that. Just to talk about some additional duties that he has assumed. Now, he has a full load that he manages in the Detective Bureau, and he goes above and beyond those duties. He was the one who resurrected and rejuvenated and came up with our Citizens Academy. It's currently in its 2nd year. We've graduated 4 classes. We also have a Student Academy, and that's all thanks to Detective Cook. He handles every single detail from the uniforms to the meals to setting up the instructors to actually instructing several of the classes himself. Couldn't find a person that's more enthusiastic, energetic, and just puts his all into that Citizens Academy. It has paid dividends tenfold to the city of Oak Park. Our residents love it. It gives our residents an opportunity to kind of get a peek behind the curtain there to see actually what goes on a day in and day out basis with the Public Safety Department. So like I said, kudos to Detective Cook for handling that. He's also responsible for the department's very first ice cream truck, and that project is extremely popular and a little bit exhausting, but we welcome it. It gives us an opportunity to interact with the youth and also all the members of the community and those who travel throughout Oak Park to engage them in a positive forum while sharing free ice cream. Detective Cook not only handled that down to all of the finite details. He found the sponsors, Prairie Farms, who donates 300 ice creams per week to the project throughout the summer and spring season. Detective Cook was responsible for securing the vehicle that we're using from our Department of Public Works down to the freezer, down to the wraps, I mean to every single detail. And like I said, it's picking up traction each and every day. I think we have some of our residents, they've gotten so accustomed to it now, it's to the point where they're like, well, where's that ice cream truck, you know? Unfortunately, we can't have it out every single day, but we at least try and get out a couple days a week. Just to talk a little bit more, Detective Cook sat on the executive board for the Tri-Community Coalition, which consists of Oak Park, Huntington Woods, and Berkeley. And that program is done great works for our youth. He also is very intricately involved with the Oak Park High School. They have a CSI course over at the high school, and the instructor coordinates with Detective Cook. And several times throughout the year, several of those classes will come over, and Detective Cook will take them out into our evidence tech garage and just basically put them through a CSI course in a matter of a couple of hours as far as evidence gathering and collections and what to do and what not to do and clues to look for. And it's just been outstanding. One of the things that I felt that made it an easy choice for me to bring Detective Cook forward as a nominee is the fact that a lot of times you'll get great ideas from staff, but they'll come and they'll drop it on the doorstep of the chief or the deputy chief, and then they'll say, hey, make it happen. One of the things that definitely sets Detective Cook apart is the fact that he'll take it from beginning to end. He'll have all of the details worked out, and it's really hard to say no to something like that. He has represented the city of Oak Park and the Public Safety Department in a very positive light. Like I said, we see kudos day in and day out because of great work that he's done, and similar work, like I said, throughout from the other men and women who serve on the Department of Public Safety. I'm proud of him. I couldn't be more happy to have him as a member of our public safety team. And like I said, it was an easy nomination for me. So I'm proud of you. I love you. Keep up the good work, and congratulations to you.
Are you ready for your photo shoot? Okay.
I'm ready for you.
Council members, join me, okay.
Thank you. Let's go right over here.
Okay, next on the agenda is special licenses. We have a request for special event license submitted by BookBeat, 26010 Greenfield, for a special outdoor book sale and store anniversary celebration to be held on August 27th, 2017. Can we get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. I wonder if we can have a representative from BookBeat to come and tell us about the event?
No, guess not.
This is Colleen Kammer, who has been with BookBeat since it came to Oak Park. In what year?
1982.
1982. And so, let me think, I'm not adding, which anniversary are you celebrating?
35.
35 years. 35 years in the city of Oak Park, being a real community bookstore. It's one of the last of a breed. Tell us a little bit about the event that you're having.
Well, it will be like the 30th anniversary, like we are having music, food. We have a bunch of authors that are coming. Last time we had over 35. It will probably be around that again.
Wow.
And we rent, I think we have the tent down there, that thing for the tent. The music will be in there, maybe some of the authors, and a sale.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
a
Everybody,
lot of authors have committed to it, so we're
everybody mark your
excited.
calendar for Sunday, August 27th. And the hours of the event are 12 to 5. And we're expecting 500 to 700 people to attend.
Oh, I don't know, it's like so many, I think you came last time.
I sure
Carl
did.
Levin came last time.
Carl
Elmore
Levin.
Leonard came last time.
Yes.
And they got to meet for the first time at our event.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So who knows who will show up this time.
This is be there or be square. Thank you
That's it.
so much.
Thank you.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Thank you. We're looking forward to that event. Sunday, August 27th, noon to 5. Next. Let's see.
11A.
11A. We have 11A, an approval for payment of invoices submitted by Seacrest, Wardle, Lynch, Hampton, Truex, and Morley for legal services in the total amount of $8,289.13. Is there a motion to approve this payment?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Discussion or questions?
Gotta pay your lawyers.
You got-
You gotta pay your lawyers.
Those of you who don't know, he's a lawyer, of course. Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Of course.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
No, just kidding, yes, yes.
Okay,
I
motion
think I just won
carried.
down there.
Just keeping us awake. All right. Let's see, 13A,
12A.
12A. I'm missing a piece. Thank you. Okay. This is a request to award the bid for 2017 miscellaneous sewer repair project M671 to Brico Excavating of Oak Park, Michigan, for the total amount of $117,260. Is there a motion to award this bid?
So moved?
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion or questions? Is there someone who could answer? Is it a new company? Have we used them before?
Yeah, we have our Assistant City Engineer, Jiraj Sarles. I think I'm saying your last name correct, right? You can join me at the podium. This is an Oak Park business that we're recommending for approval. And we used them in the past, correct?
Yes, sir.
But it's been a little while.
And they are significantly less than the other
Like
bid.
half.
Yes, ma'am. Greetings, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City Manager. The company that we've selected to award the bid has worked for the city previously. The difference in bid amounts is partially due to it being so close to the end of the construction season. So some contractors tend to bid a little higher, just to, kind of throw a number out there to see if they are able to secure the contract. So in the interest of being thrifty with the budget, we selected the lower bidder.
And you've
for
been
that item.
pleased with their work in the past.
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, are we ready to vote?
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, motion carried. Next is 13A, ordinances. This is first reading of an ordinance to provide for a service charge in lieu of taxes for a housing development known as Coolidge Place located at 2111 Coolidge Highway. Is there a motion to approve this first reading?
So moved?
Support.
Is there someone from Coolidge Place who can talk about this? Oh, we've got our Economic Development Director right up here.
Yeah, before I bring up the representatives for the project, I want to show a couple pictures of the project. Coolidge Place is the municipal property that City Council approved us selling a few months back off of Coolidge, just north of 8 Mile Road. And if you look at the screen, these are the conceptual site plans. This breaks it down into 2 blocks in a little more detail. It'll be 64 units.
Oh, that's nice that we can get it closer.
Very nicely landscaped. We've been working with the architect and the developers on making changes to the plan, and they've been very easy to work with and meeting our needs that we wanted to see. We did run into an issue on the north end of the property where there was a Oakland County easement of 30 feet, so they had to drop those units further back onto the property in order to not build upon the easement. There's a drain easement in there that they had to stay off of, so that's why you see the curvature of the road on the north end. And this is the conceptual elevations for both the front and the rear. If you notice on them, the front and the rear look almost identical. They try to make the rear of the building look just as nice as the fronts do, as opposed to a typical development where the back is just really nothing nice to look at. So they really take a good look at both sides of the building and create them equally.
Yes, and people driving by would see the front, but the residents always go to the back.
Exactly, yep. So they have a nice entrance. And then this is the conceptual elevation for their community center building that will also be on site. It's located midway in between the entire development. So there's a nice community space in there and some office and meeting rooms. But again, nice materials being used and architecture that blends well within the community. And I'd like to call up Ryan Hertz from South Oakland Shelter and Tim Thorland from Southwest Solutions. They are partnering on this project, and they'd be happy to answer any of your questions on the pilot.
Wonderful. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit just about the project and about when you think it'll be ready and who will be renting?
Sure.
And what?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Ryan Hertz with Sparrow Housing Group. We're a subsidiary of South Oakland Shelter. Our hope is to move forward with applying for tax credits to develop this project in October with the goal, if we secure them, of developing the property in the summer of 2018. And what was
So
your other
starting
question?
in October and finishing in summer.
Starting construction in summer 2018.
What's happening in October?
Application for tax credits to finance the project, which is why we require the payment in lieu of taxes.
Right. Summer 2018 construction. And when do you expect occupancy?
Will hopefully be full by November of 2019 is our goal.
2019?
Mhm.
And if someone is interested, who do they talk to?
Well, we'll have a property management company, KMG Prestige, who will handle applications to.
What's the name of the company?
KMG Prestige.
Property Management, KMG Prestige. That will be renting out units?
Correct.
And how will the residents be screened?
They'll be screened consistently by the property management company based on the standards as per the Michigan State Housing Development Authority sets the standards for screenings for this type of project. Excuse me.
Right, hi, welcome. Can you tell us a little bit more about the project? Mr. Thorland.
Sure. Good evening. Tim Thorland. I'm with Southwest Solutions. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. The project is 64 units. There'll be townhouse-style units. It is affordable housing. So what we are developing is under a program called Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program. It's the way affordable housing is developed all across the country. It's a competitive process. So with the blessing and approval of the city as we move forward with this project, as Ryan mentioned, in October, we will make application with the State Housing Development Authority to secure an allocation of credits. We will then, as developers, be able to turn those credits into equity and sell those credits to an investor, and with that equity, we'll be able to construct this project. The way the tax credit program works is we make a promise in return to rent to people at certain income levels. And in this particular case, the maximum income levels that we will rent to are people or families who do not exceed 60% of area median income.
What does that come out to?
And for Oakland County, typically, say for a single person, that's a person's income who does not exceed $28,860, or for example, a four-person family, $41,160. So typically in these type of projects, these are wage-earning families, but typically lower wage-earning families.
Wonderful. So these are people who are working full-time, minimum wage maybe, and need a wonderful place to live.
Right, absolutely.
And this is a huge lack in the state of Michigan, according to the Michigan Municipal League.
Certainly.
That working families
affordable
need.
housing is at a crisis all across the country. And even like in a county like Oakland County that's reasonably affluent, you're typically lagging tens of thousands of units behind the need based on the diverse incomes of households in a community like this.
Madam Mayor, do we need a motion?
Let's see, yes, we need,
I have a question.
well, let's see, we have a motion for the first reading, no? Yes, we have a motion and a second.
I have a question.
Okay, already. So it's time for discussion or questions. Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Just one question. I think you guys may have answered this at the Planning Commission meeting or not, but this is your first joint project together?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
And if this,
This has been speaking for Ryan and South Oakland Shelter, this has been a vision of theirs to move progressively into the affordable housing arena. At Southwest Solutions, we've been doing this for 18 years. We own a portfolio of nearly 800 units, primarily in the city of Detroit, but a piece of our business is in support of organizations like Ryan's, who want to achieve things that Southwest Solutions has, but doesn't necessarily have the experience to do that on their own.
thank you.
Further questions? Okay. People are always asking, are these people who are working? Are these, tell us a little bit about who our neighbors are going to be.
Go ahead.
I can speak to that a little bit. I mean, fair housing law requires us, to rent to anybody who's able to pay that rent. So if they have a voucher, they can live in these units. But we'll have standards of screening based on criminal background, et cetera, to ensure that the folks who are living in the property are able to take care of the property and be good neighbors to the community.
And are there credit requirements? They have to have good credit?
Certainly. A property management company like KMG will normally do a criminal background check. They'll do a credit check. They'll ask for references and do a previous landlord check.
Now, in our other Jefferson Oaks project, they have 60 units, and so far they have 600 applicants. So they're able to be pretty choicey about who comes, and we ought to get wonderful residents.
Absolutely. I would imagine that the profile of resident who will live at Coolidge Place is the profile of resident who lives in the community today.
Wonderful. So that's good to know. And you had a community meeting on Wednesday. We weren't able to attend because we had another event, city event, but can you tell us a little bit about the meeting and how it went?
Sure. It was an open house style meeting, so essentially we had the drawings, elevations, and conceptual site plan laid out for folks to come and take a look and provide their feedback. For example, there's some pieces of the design which are somewhat able to be adapted to the desire of the surrounding neighbors. So we asked questions about that, things like what sort of fencing folks who live directly behind the development would prefer, and that sort of thing. We answered questions about the timeline, how far the development would be from the fence, where the fence would be in relation to folks' properties, that sort of thing.
Right, and actually the city wants it closer to the sidewalk than the existing one, so they'll be farther from the residents. What
Yeah.
kind of fencing was preferred?
We actually want that too, just to be clear. The only issue that we're running into is the easement. So unfortunately, even though we will have parking in the back as much as possible along the whole property, it will be set back a little bit further than we initially hoped for. And what was your second question?
What kind of fencing do the residents prefer?
It sounded like mostly vinyl fencing, white vinyl fencing.
White vinyl.
Seemed to be in line with the property next door.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you both for coming and
Thank you.
presenting. We
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
your time. So now we're ready for a vote.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Is there any report from the city attorney?
No significant report. I did want to provide an update. Our office had been working on the civil infractions ordinance provisions, and there's been a bit of a delay, so I just want to let you know you will not get that piece of legislation in August, but we're preparing to present it to you for the September city council meeting.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know it's a large piece of work.
It is, and it's more, we want to make sure we get it right from an administrative perspective. It deals with some changes to our treasurer's office and some other internal departments. But most importantly, we've just had quite a few other pressing matters, such as the pilot ordinance you just passed and some other things. So once these matters are taken care of, we'll return to the civil infractions.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We keep you busy.
You do, and we love it. Thank you.
Okay. City Manager Tungate?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I have a really brief presentation I'd like to show, and this presentation is regarding the work that we hired to be done to reconstruct Granzon Street. This was a project that City Council had asked us to move up in our capital improvement cycle, and we did that. The project is now complete. As you'll see, if we could go, I'm not controlling it, but go forward. This is the before construction. A couple of these slides here. Keep going. There you go. That's during construction. Obviously, we took it down to subgrade levels. They're completely reconstructing it. What fun, the construction.
It was requested by the school district that this get moved up a bit in our list of projects, because when you drive up to the school district, there was this rutted cement that just didn't speak pride of Oak Park Schools, and so we agreed that this should be a priority.
Just a point of clarification, Madam Mayor, they didn't actually make the request, but we actually voluntarily moved it up for them after they had told us about the severity of the issue. So then this is the paving operation, keep going there during construction.
Wow.
And here we're getting to the final product. And look at this now. You can see some of the sod was ripped up. And then,
Restoration.
yep, so then let's get to the, or is it the final one?
Watering the grass on the
Yes.
side.
So the couple of things, just to get through this. One, the sod I've toured this personally. The sod has been completely replaced 100%. They did a great job. The street has been completely reconstructed from top to bottom. It is concrete. I would only ask, if you wouldn't mind putting that last slide back up there if you could, that in order to keep things looking great down there, that the neighbors water the new lawns, especially right now. We're in a little bit of a mini drought, and don't speed. But I wanted to showcase that because it's a great project in a great area, and it looks great. Moving ahead to 15B, I'd like to ask our Recreation Director, Lori Stasiak, to join me at the podium, please.
Good evening, Mayor McClellan, Mayor Pro Tem Burns, City Council members, and City Manager Tungate. The Oak Park Recreation Department is seeking authorization to renew their municipal credits and community credit contract with SMART. This allows the Recreation Department to operate and administer a senior transportation program. SMART intends to provide Oak Park Recreation with $28,842 of municipal credits and $38,803 of community credits for the fiscal year July 2017 through June of 2018.
Okay, do we have a motion to renew these credits?
So moved.
Support.
I wonder how these amounts compare with last year's amounts.
They are the same.
They are the same.
Pretty good comparison.
Any other questions, comments? No? Ready for a vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes,
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Director Maroney, if you could join me at the podium for 15C, a recap of the Sherman Street pop-up park.
Good evening. I wanted to come back to City Council and give a recap of our pilot program of closing down Sherman Street near 9 Mile and creating it into a temporary park for the whole month of June. We were fortunate enough to have help from the Recreation Department, library staff, as well as the DPW and Public Safety to make this happen. We did ask that the residents provide us with some input and feedback. We had on each of the tables there surveys as well as online, and we talked to many residents on the phone. Based on all the feedback that I've given to you in a little report here, which is their exact wording, over 83% liked the park and want to see it to be a permanent space there. Most of the people would like to see on a permanent space more music, food trucks, more activities at varied times for all different ages and age groups, movies, more shade, a mural, community garden, drinking fountain, restrooms, and a bar. So that's what the community would like to see if it becomes a permanent park. But we did create a little video that we wanted to show you to kind of showcase what the park entailed.
Oh. How did we get that? A drone.
Remember just like when you were a little...
What y'all trying to do? 24-karat magic in the air. Head to toe, so clear. Look out! Pop up and showtime. Showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. Downtown. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Shut up. I'm wearing Cuban links. Designer mix. Inglewood's finest shoes. Don't look too hard, might hurt yourself. Known to give the color red the blues. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Are you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jocking. Keep up. Players only. Come on. Put your pinky rings up. What y'all trying to do? 24-karat magic in the air.
Wow. Let's hear it for the video. Oh, my goodness sake. Wow.
That was thanks to Real Team Real Estate and our little magic from Benny in the back room here.
Yeah. Nice. So what is the step that you need from us?
I don't need anything. It was just a recap and following up with City Council to let you know how the Pocket Park went.
So the majority of people liked it or were upset about closing?
Yeah, over 83% wanted the park to become a permanent space and enjoyed it. So we did receive a few people that did not like the park, and the majority of the reason was they had to drive a little bit further out of their way to get home. But that was about it.
Yeah. And I think DPW also had a big hand in making that happen.
Yeah, DPW, Public Safety, Recreation, and the library.
Everyone worked
A big-
together.
big
So
staff
is there a chance of this being permanent, or what do you think?
There is, and we're looking at options for that, possibly entailing that into the 9-mile redesign project that we're going to be doing next year. We'll be talking about that later in tonight's meeting, but coordinating maybe turning it into a permanent park at that time.
How neat.
So the purpose of the pilot was to get the community feedback.
And so a couple people said, well, let's just put it in the other parks instead of putting it here. So what would you say to that?
Put what in the other parks?
Instead of having this 9-mile park, just put these events at a different, one of our parks.
Well, then it wouldn't be a pop-up park.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a pop-up, it's totally different, but I know Recreation has done a great job in moving some of the locations of the things that they put on, as well as library, not just doing them in the same traditional spaces and
So
bringing
the
them outside of
advantage of
community
doing it
building.
on 9-mile instead of one of the traditional parks, that's what I was hoping that
Yeah,
somebody would
well,
speak to.
and I'm sure that's something that Recreation looks to do in the future, and as they go through their master planning process, they'll look for that feedback from the residents when they're planning the next 5 years.
That's neat. So can Recreation come up and
Do you have
say
any
a word
comment?
about an advantage of having it there as a pop-up park instead of in one of the old parks?
The trend with recreation is to take recreation to the people, not necessarily in the traditional parks that we have, but going out in other spaces, open spaces, and providing programs, providing just like Kimberly was just talking about, pop-up recreation. We plan to do some different things, added recreation in various spots next year with the pop-up theme. So it definitely is a trend all over the United States.
Excellent, and we're at the head of the trend.
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you for coming back with that.
Absolutely.
Okay, Director Maroney, 15D, please.
Yes, in the last meeting in July, we had Christopher Germain from the Redevelopment Ready program come in and do a presentation for City Council. Afterwards, we have a resolution in front of you to pass in support of his presentation and moving forward and becoming part of the Redevelopment Ready program. So it's just kind of a minor housekeeping item. In order to move forward in the program, we need to pass this resolution in front of you.
So moved.
Support.
Supported. Any discussion or questions? This includes evaluating strong partnerships with city boards and commissions like the council and planning and zoning and the corridor improvement. So I'm assuming those boards and commissions will be getting that presentation.
Not all of them, no. No, they don't have enough resources to send their people to every presentation, to every board and commission. We have them coming to planning commission, but that's all they'll be able to do.
Wonderful. Maybe we can invite zoning.
Well, and we've had it videotaped at the city council meeting, so the other ones can certainly watch it at their leisure.
Perfect. Oh, that's wonderful. Great. I don't remember. Do we have a motion for this one? Pass this resolution. We have a motion and we have a second. Yes. And no discussion or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So we are on board with anything development ready. I think that our city, in a very short time, has gone from 0 to 60, thanks to our Director of Economic Development, where we had none, and now we were selected for this because we are so close to achieving nirvana on these requirements.
Yep.
And so you'll let us know when we have
Yep, I'll
passed.
keep you posted as where we're at. You'll see me making changes to ordinances and such as we go along the process.
Right.
Yep.
It's kind of astounding how far we've gone in this area, thanks to our city manager and our economic development director. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Director Maroney, 15E, please.
Yes, in reference to the Coolidge Place development that we just previously spoke about, the pilot program, City Council authorized City Manager Eric Tungate to enter into a purchase agreement with Spiro Housing for the purchase of the property. And we worked with our City Attorney, Ebony Duff, and her staff in order to create a purchase agreement that we have in front of you to sell that property to Spiro Housing. The amount of money that we are getting for the property is $130,000. The city purchased the property through tax foreclosure in 2010 in the amount of $107,936. The amount of money that it has cost us to maintain the property since then has been roughly $22,064. So the amount of money totals $130,000. Anything above and beyond that would go back to the county. So as an incentive to the developer to come in, we kept the amount at the $130,000.
Madam Mayor, I'll make
Yes.
a motion to approve the sale.
Okay, is there
Support.
Moved and supported, thank you. Discussion or questions?
Yes, Madam Mayor. We heard so eloquently from our development director and from the gentleman who spoke earlier. We had a nice meeting with them a month or so ago. I don't think there's any further discussion. It's going to be a great project. I say we move to a vote.
Okay. Without any
I
objection?
think we've discussed it all we need to discuss. I think we're
Got
all
it.
on the same page about this.
Okay, ready for a vote, thank you.
Mayor McClellan.
Absolutely, yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried.
Thank you.
15F.
Director Maroney, 15F, and we have a guest.
We have a resolution in front of you in regards to a recent development off of Belfour Street. We are going to be calling it Curtis Court. 3 new homes were erected. A 4th one is yet to be built. And in front of you is the road dedication for us to accept the road and maintain it. And we again worked with our city attorney's office. That's why she's been so busy. I keep sending her stuff. So it's a resolution to approve the acceptance of the court dedication and then the quitclaim deed from Balfour Company LLC to dedicate the road to the city of Oak Park.
Madam Mayor, so moved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Support.
I didn't see you in
Moved and supported.
the
Unless he
developers
has
in
something
the
to say
audience.
about it.
A presentation would be,
Not
yes, come up
necessary.
and say a word or two, no?
We're
We
probably gonna-
noticed that 3 of the houses are done and looking pretty good.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Mark Menick, Balfour Company.
Say it again.
Mark Menick, M-E-N-U-C-K, Balfour Company.
Mark Minnick, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a small bit about the project and,
Well, we converted a former single-family home on one parcel out of 2, the other one being vacant, into 4 lots with a road down the middle. And we're here tonight for the dedication of the road, and we will hopefully, within the next few weeks, be moving in the first homeowner to the houses. And,
when is the 4th house planned?
We have a plan for it. We're in discussions on when we're going to start it, which hopefully will be soon, but I can't tell you when. I don't know.
Sure. Well, they look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
You've done a great job, and you've also done a great job keeping it safer than you were even required to do with the fencing and the whole thing. I think you've been a friendly builder. We're happy to have you. And we're happy to have such quality housing.
Thank you. I can't take credit for the houses. My twin brother runs the construction. I handle the development side. I do the easy work, but I will share your sentiment. I can't say we've been the best of neighbors. We have a little bit of a mess sometimes, but we try to do our best. And this community has been just nothing but great to work with.
Nice, nice to hear.
Kim's been really awesome, and Jennifer Wilson from the engineering department, all of the administrative clerks. They've just been great to work with, really. I was wondering why they weren't here tonight for that award. It's a great community, really.
That is so nice to hear, because we've been working toward that as a goal to make us redevelopment friendly, and obviously we've achieved it.
If I'm not mistaken, I even met Tiffany in the City Hall, and she too was great to work with.
Nice.
Maybe next year.
Very nice. Thank you. Thanks for coming, and
Sure.
thanks for improving our city.
Thank you.
Okay, we need to adopt the resolution. Do we have a motion? We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? We are ready to vote.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. We're delighted. We'd like more wonderful new housing in the city of Oak Park.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Deputy Director of Public Works Rocco Fortura to join me at the podium for 15G, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City Manager. Please find attached a request from Owen Tree Service. They are the contractor for the 2015 and 16 city tree block pruning projects. They have indicated that they would like to execute a second-year extension at their unit prices for this project to perform the 2017 city tree pruning project M674. The contract allows for a 2-year extension. It is recommended City Council approve the offer for the contract extension from Owen Tree Service in a total amount of $100,000 for the 2017 City Tree Block Pruning Project, M674. Funding is available in the major and local street funds for
Is there
this
a motion?
expenditure.
Motion to approve this contract extension.
So moved?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or discussion? We've been, I think they pruned our tree, and I sent out an SOS. They're cutting down, good branches, and they came out so nicely and explained, no, we're trying to get them up high to get a canopy look.
It's also forming.
So they're doing an excellent job, just exactly what
Good
they're supposed
company,
to.
a good company. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we ready for a vote?
We are.
Vote, please.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes?
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Okay, we're on H, I think.
Okay. Raj, you're taking this one? 15H, please.
Good evening again, Honorable Mayor, Council, City Manager. The Engineering Division is requesting authorization to enter into an intergovernmental cost-sharing agreement with the City of Ferndale for construction of the West 9 Mile Road Transportation Alternatives Program, the TAP 2018 project. The agreement calls for the City of Ferndale to reimburse and make payment to the City of Oak Park for the actual construction costs after the application of Transportation Alternatives Program funding amount for the construction work, along with payment to the City of Oak Park for the actual design and engineering work costs undertaken in the City of Ferndale's jurisdiction. The total cost of construction is $1,405,466, which includes $983,826 in federal funds. The anticipated construction and engineering cost for the City of Ferndale is approximately $290,267. It is recommended that the City Council authorize the City of Oak Park to enter into an intergovernmental cost-sharing agreement with the City of Ferndale to construct the West 9 Mile Road Transportation Alternatives Program project upon final review from the City Attorney's Office.
Okay, is there a move to authorize this intergovernmental cost-sharing agreement?
So moved?
Support.
Thank you. We have some exhibits that are, got it, about the road diet and the benefits to the city. We have too much road for not enough use. Is that kind of the short
Yes, by going through the road diet process and reducing the number of driving lanes, it will not negatively affect the traffic flows going through the area currently.
Excellent. So we'll just make it easier to cross the road and allow parking and bikes.
Yes.
And when are we expected to see actually something happen with this?
Construction would be in 2018,
2018, summer, spring,
summer.
2018. All right, any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
I have some questions about the dollars involved here.
Yes.
It says the total cost of construction is $1,400,000, and there's $983 in federal funds, $290,000 from the city of Ferndale. So it leaves a shortfall of $131,373. Where's that money coming from?
Madam Mayor, if I could.
City manager?
That is our local match portion, and I want to make sure those numbers are correct, because Ferndale's paying $290 of the local match portion, and we're paying $130. Is that the right math?
Yeah, the math is, Councilmember Rich's math was definitely correct.
So the
Assuming the numbers
130
here are correct.
So the 130,
'Cause I got the same number.
the 130 portion of that, as you know, we will not be spending general fund dollars on this project. That will be coming from our Act 51 road money as part of our local match portion.
And then the next question I have is on page 6, where we talk about the 9-mile road diet. The total amount's $1,700,000, but the face sheet for 15H talks about $1,400,000. Where's the rest of that $300,000 coming from, and what's it for?
The remainder, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Okay, page 6 of the proposal is titled at the top, 9-mile road diet, and then the dollars that are on this page total $1,707,000. There's a discussion of Oak Park roadway, Ferndale roadway, and something called Trailhead Connector, $314,000. So,
Is the trailhead connector part of this same? It is. So that, what part of that? And why are the numbers different?
Mayor and Council, let me try to answer that question for Gerard. Good evening. This afternoon, I was looking at this agenda item. It looked a little confusing. It was hard to read those numbers, so I did print out in some large paper a breakout of some of the costs. So I can share that with you, and it might be easier to.
That'd be great.
Some of the costs of the project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What I did, trying to understand the numbers myself, is just broke down into the three categories that we're talking about, where you're talking about the back-to-back curve 9, which is the majority of the project, Ferndale's portion and the trailhead portion, and then a summary, and then work backwards from the grand total of $1.7 million there. You can see you take the $1.7 million, you take the $983 off of from the TAP grant, and remains a balance of $723,000. Today we're talking about approving Ferndale's interlocal agreement with us. That's what the main agenda item is, to have a resolution so we can collect money and have an agreement with them. And it leaves our Oak Park match of $595,000, which is in major street fund.
Okay, so the total price of the project is the $1,700,000. That's including more than just the roadway. That's the stuff to the right and the left of the road?
Correct. You're going from, you got the trails that are there, you have the trailway, you have construction cost, there's included in there civil engineering costs or construction engineering costs, preliminary engineering, which is the design work, and then overall 10% contingency built into the project.
And so the part that says Oak Park's match and engineering total, that's $595,000. That's coming from Act 51 funds from the federal government, siphoned to the state, siphoned to us?
Correct.
All right. And the TAP grant, where's that grant coming from?
I would say that's mainly funded through MDOT and through SEMCOG.
So the 595 is Act 51 money. We've already budgeted for those funds then, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you very much for the clarification.
Thank you for your insightful question. Did you have something further to add?
I did. Just for clarification, Gerard, do we need to, the Ferndale portion is 127,700, or is the Ferndale portion this 290? I understand the 1.7, but
Yeah, it says the Ferndale on either 290 or 127. It's not very clear.
yeah.
The Ferndale portion is the 290, with 162,550 coming from MDOT and SEMCOG, and 127,17 being their,
So it's a total. The 290 is a total of the two.
yes.
Okay.
So that is the correct number for their portion from different sources.
Correct. That's the way I'm taking it.
Everyone settled with that? Comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, we're ready to vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
motion carried. Thank you so much for both of your presentations and explanations. Thank you. Where are we now?
Okay.
15I.
Oof. Okay.
15I.
15I, I think, Gerard, you got this one as well.
Good evening again. The Engineering Division is requesting approval and adoption of a resolution certifying that matching funds are secured, available, and committed for use in constructing the West 9 Mile Road Transportation Alternatives Program, TAP 2018 project, certifying that the city commits to owning, operating, and implementing a maintenance program over the design life of the project, and certifying that the Assistant City Manager is authorized to act as agent during project development and to sign a project agreement upon receipt of a funding award. It is recommended that City Council adopt the proposed resolution, which includes certifications and authorizations required to implement the West 9 Mile Road Transportation Alternatives Program, TAP project, upon final review from the City Attorney's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion or questions?
None.
Sounds like a great idea.
I want to make one comment.
One comment from the city manager.
Gerard, as I was reviewing this, one thing I kept noticing in both the previous resolution agenda item as well as this one is we keep saying West 9 Mile Road. Is there a reason we're calling it West 9 Mile Road?
That is the way that the MDOT records reflect it, so we just wanted everything to be consistent.
Is it west of Woodward?
Okay.
Is it, I think it's west of
Yes.
Woodward.
Well, it is west of Woodward, but I just
But
want to
that's
make
how it
sure
gets
it's,
to be, that it's named correctly.
okay.
All right, we're ready to vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yep.
motion carried.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have kept you real busy. Next, we have call to the audience. Please give us your name and address and limit your time to 3 minutes. Please come up. Yep.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor. Excuse me. My name is Irvin Milton. I'm of the Baha'i Faith, and we would like to invite you to a celebration. I would let my friend here, Sharon Fogel, she's a member of the committee that is working with this, so I'll let her do most of the talking.
All right. Thank you for coming, and
Good
thanks
evening.
for, good evening.
Mayor and council members, city manager. Yes, my name is Sharon Fogel. I'm on North Kipling. And I'm on the committee for the 200th anniversary of the birth of Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i Faith. And we are holding the birthday party at the Flag Star Strand Theater for the Performing Arts in Pontiac on October 22nd, Sunday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we have a flyer for each of you. And we also have cards that have more of the information that we'd like to give to you. We request that that you call either Irvin or I or the local Spiritual Assembly of Troy, which is the assembly that's overseeing this project, to reserve a free ticket or tickets. So our phone numbers are on the back of the cards, also on the flyer. And if we don't have enough flyers and cards, then we can bring some more in between now and then. So we can do that. And we also, for all the department heads, we might have enough, and for the audience members also. So see if you've got enough. It's also the 198th anniversary of the birth of the forerunner of the Baha'i Faith, the Bab, and in 2 years we'll have another big event for his 200th anniversary.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No, thank you. Let's see. Okay. Let me just mention that I learned from the city manager today that the state budget is $2 billion with a B, $2 billion short, after they did away with the business personal property tax, assuring us that the boom in business will replace the money. And since it didn't, we are quaking a bit about state funding. Mayor Pro Tem Burns, can you tell us a little bit about some of the events that you attended?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. On Saturday, July the 29th, we had our Summerfest here at Oak Park, and it was a rounding success. It was very nice. We had the barbecue competition. I believe there was maybe about 30 vendors that participated in the barbecue competition. There was a live band. There was a DJ. It was a very well turned out event. There was a lot of residents who attended. There was a couple of family reunions that went on in the parking lot, at the park, and they came over to the Summerfest and participated. So it was a very nice event, very well attended. And I volunteered to work there every year, and I can't wait till next year. I just usually volunteer in the beer and wine tent.
Good choice.
Yes.
The live band?
I'm sorry?
They had live
I
band.
know they had bats. I didn't know. I didn't want to see the bats. I didn't want to see the skins from the animals. Oakland County was there, and we had a lot of different vendors there. We had our library department there. They were doing crafts. There was the rock climbing wall, which is at all of our events. Oakland County was there with different animal hides. Ugh. They had a skunk. I hate skunks. Very nice. The children enjoyed it. There was a craft table. There were butterflies, there were face painting, there was bats, live bats. There was a lot of activity, something for everyone in the family to enjoy. There was also even a car show. Also, I just wanted to remind everyone, our Thursday Concert in the Park series is now over, but it was very well turned out, and hopefully we'll get a grant and we'll have that coming back next year. On Friday, July the 11th, is our Come Out and Play and Movie Night. Come out and play, I'm sorry? August, yeah, I'm sorry, August, August the 11th, this Friday. From 2 to 8, come out and play. There will be activities for every age, adult and children and teenagers and seniors. At 8:30, we'll have our movie in the park. So it's a very nice event, an all-day event. Please come out if you can. Also, last Wednesday, the Torgo family gifted the city with a scholarship for the public service officers. Last Wednesday was the first award presentation, and 10 children from our public safety officers were rewarded with scholarships toward their education. So that was very nice as well. And also, the first meeting of the combined Independence Day Committee and the Recreation Committee took place last week. So I can anticipate a very nice collaborative 4th of July event with these two great committees coming together as one. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Thank you. Let's see, we've got Councilmember Radner.
I need to quickly recognize somebody who's in the audience here tonight. I don't know why exactly my mother wanted to come out here and watch for the last hour and a half. I hope it was as exciting as you thought it would be. And she's here together with my nephew, who's here visiting from Israel.
Wonderful.
And I'm trying to convince his mother, my sister, to just call Oak Park their home. But, you know, we'll see how that goes. Good night, everyone.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I kept staring at her going, she looks so familiar. I know her from somewhere.
Now you know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good night, everyone.
That's great. Councilmember Rich.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you. There being no further business to come before this council, this meeting is adjourned.
Somebody come by to the property next door that's being built, because my son said there's a chemical or some kind of odor. And he doesn't know whether it's materials being used in construction.
You're home during the day, right?
Not always.
Not always?
Not always. I mean, I have things to do. Like, I'll be gone tomorrow. And I leave in California. I did Los Angeles. 248. 613-417. I told my son, you're an adult, you can call and complain. He's concerned about Roundup, he's concerned about whatever they're using. Yeah. You too. But the animal control came out and removed the disease.
I like this.
He was fighting at home. There was a murder on my property. Can you imagine? My son thinks it was